That's what it is. Accused of being something derogatory because they are in a subsequent marriage with the same husband that an initial wife has. And it's just not fair to many. So I remember there was this divorce that happened. It was specifically in the Desi community, and this woman had 6 or 7 kids. And I was hopeful for her. I said, well, maybe she'll find love again after the divorce. Maybe she'll find a solid marriage that she wants. And this other woman, she was Desi, she was Pakistani or Indian, I believe. And she said, no, Fatimah, that's not how it works in our community. And I said, what you mean? Y'all know me. I said, what you mean? She was like, oh no, she's no good anymore. I said, what? Because I'm thinking, I got plenty of kids. I'm like, dang, what you mean she ain't no good no more? And she said, in our culture, with brown people, specifically Indian Pakistani people, once she's divorced, she's considered, that's it, garbage. Nobody's going to want her. She used goods. I was like, what? And it hurt me because it's hurtful to hear that just because she did something moral, just because it didn't end up like she dreamed it would, and it ended in divorce. She's just thrown to the side. And I said, well, that's messed up, and I'm going to pray for her and her children. But I had to understand, this is a thing, this happens. So she got judged because a divorce happened between her and her husband. It was not anything crazy, but he married again. But now it's like, she said, in our community, nobody's going to touch her. Nobody's going to want to marry her. And I'm like, wow. You pass up an incredible woman like that because of your ego, or because people won't like it, or because people say things. I'm not one to wait on people to give me permission to do anything in my life. So it was hard for me to go, she got to wait on people to, no. But the judgment was there, the bias was there, the name calling was there. Oh, she's tainted, she's deficient, all that stuff was there. And that's happening on different levels in different ways to different women from different backgrounds, from all walks of life. Whether they have no children, whether they have 6, 7 children, 10 children, whatever the case may be, 3 children, whatever it is. But the past, and going off into somebody's past and using what happened to them or what hurt them, or a judgment or assumption you might make that there's somebody immoral just because they exist as a subsequent wife in polygyny, even if they're an initial wife and they want to get married again after a divorce. There's so much judgment. Or she used to be this, or she's not. I experienced her this way. Whatever. Maybe that's your experience of her. Maybe that's not going to be mine. And it is for the husband to decide, because he's marrying the person, not anybody else. But should he be mindful? Should he vet well? Yes. Should he make sure there's cleanliness? Yes. There's so many things he has to do. Yes, those things should be done. It should be observed. But what should not be done is if you're just looking at someone as a subsequent wife that's come up into a marriage that is her own with the husband. That's her monogamous marriage with him. That's what that is. Then removing some of that judgment and going, okay, let me just meet her for myself. If that is where you are in life, maybe that's not practical for you at this time. Maybe it's not a good thing at this time, but it doesn't have to be an impossibility. And one of the things that helped me with my co-wife is going, okay, these things happen. She always talks about how she was a single mom. That's part of her story. She always talks and trains on this stuff too, about being a divorcee. And she's teaching others. She helped me, and my friends that have been divorced helped me understand the world of a wife that's been divorced, because I don't know what that's like. I only know what it's like through the eyes of someone who has experienced it themselves. So that helped me so much. Those women opening their hearts to me so that they could teach me, educate me, so that my relationship with my awesome co-wife could be what it is today. Was it always this way? No, we say that all the time. But it wasn't impossible for us because we're both working. So we're both working with the willing. And that's the beauty of the relationship. The judgment was removed. And it's not a one-way street, judgment and assumption. It's not a one-way street. It can happen whether you initial and then you judge in the subsequent, or the subsequent wives are judging the initial one. Whatever the case may be, it can go both ways. But I do find it that people like to throw name calling and different stuff at the subsequent wives because they're coming in to wreck the home. And I don't believe that. And that, again, some might be trying to do that, but they gotta have help. That's all I'm saying. They can't do it by themselves. Because if they can do it by themselves single-handedly, then that says a lot about the character of the husband in the marriage. He's having his monogamous marriages with the different wives, because the wives are not married to each other. Speaking directly to polygyny, we do know how to say it, we know how to spell it, and we know what the term means.
Pardon the interruption. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that you could thrive better in the community that's more supportive? Now, I already know the answer to that. But did you know that Outstanding Personal Relationships actually has a community that is supportive and where we really hang out a lot? It has a number of areas and things like, for example, I deal with the men in the Kings and Men section, where we discuss a number of different men issues, whether it's polygyny related, parenting related, whatever it may be. This is where we communicate and connect.
And as an introvert, I love the idea of an online community. So we have that. And to be able to speak with like-minded people, speak with other wives, wives, whether you're an incoming wife, whether you're a first wife, a wife, period, in general, you only practicing monogamy, whatever the case may be, to be able to be in a community with people who understand what you're going through, understand any type of issues you have, and also being in a place where you have support from others, where it's not all over social media for everybody else to see.
Yes, and it is a safe space. So if you guys want to see us, or if you want to connect with us, come to our community.
Indeed. And like they said, it's private. All right. So you don't have to worry about your stuff being all over the place or all on social media, trying to find the comments and go scroll. We have the subjects. We have all this type of stuff. Just go to outstandingpersonalrelationships.com. Look on the top of the page. Click on community. We look forward to seeing you there. Back to the video.
So, and anywho, that's a whole different video. But I wanted to address it because so many are being called out of their name and being accused. That's what it is. Accused of being something derogatory because they are in a subsequent marriage with the same husband that an initial wife has. And it's just not fair to many. Because once you put somebody on that footing, the footing is not, they're already placed at a disadvantage. They're already placed at a disadvantage. And it's difficult to come up out of something somebody else put you in. It's difficult. We got to be mindful of how we spend our time and who we spend our time with, and how we judge and don't judge, and learning to know who people are for ourselves and not what somebody else tells us they are. Be man and woman enough to sit or text or write a letter or talk or email, whatever the case may be, communicate when the time is appropriate, and ask some questions. This is not a cross-examination. It's just ask somebody who they are. Like, why did you want to be in polygyny? What was the draw? What was it? And I did this with my co-wife, and I'm telling you, her answers were so good because they were from the heart. And she wasn't telling me what I want to hear. She was telling me what was going on in her life. And it helped me understand much of what I was confused on. Because I let her answer the questions that were for her. The ones that I had were for her. It wasn't for me to have questions. Go ask Coach Nyla, ask Coach Nyla, woo. That thing could get lost in translation. So I did it myself when the time was right. And she was always willing. So I really appreciate that in her, because I know sitting on the side where she is, it has not always been easy. That's why I said polygyny happens to everybody. Not just the initial wife and the husband. It happens to the subsequent wives too. This is not about playing devil's advocate. I swear to God, people just need to grow up and fix their stupid. It ain't about playing devil's advocate, because I don't see no devils. Especially not in my family. Not in my family, because remember, family relatives is two different things. I'm related to a lot of people, but my family knows exactly who they are. And they might be family through biology, they might be family through friendship and sisterhood, and they might be my co-wife. Okay? So that's how that looks for Coach Fatimah. Anywho, guys, I just wanted to say this. I wanted to talk about it. It was on my heart to talk about, because it's been going around a lot. And I get messaged, I get DM'd, I get emailed, I did a video, I can't remember what it said. I don't know, was it a homewrecker? I might have to share it so that you guys can check it out. I can't remember the name of it. See how my mind does me sometimes? Anywho, you guys get the gist of what I'm saying. I hope you got some gems from this video. Remember to try to approach it with an open mind, and try your best to remove the ego and hear the other side of somebody's story and their journey, and see how it went for them. And one thing we do, my co-wife and I do, is we don't make Coach Nazir the topic of discussion. That's one thing we were really mindful of. And it just helps so much, because we spent time learning about one another, and that felt so good. It still does to this day. So with that, you guys, in the comments, let's put no judgment in the comments if you guys made it through this entire video. That doesn't mean you don't feel how you feel. It just means that we're not going to put everything and go, okay, co-wife, this is all your fault. I feel this way because you were born. Just know it's okay to be hurt. It's okay to be jealous. It's okay to feel certain emotions. We're people. We're not perfection. So let's just remember that and have those conversations, those hard conversations, at the appropriate time. And let's make sure we're not being bullies about it. So with that, y'all, make sure you guys are following us on our social media. So on IG, we're Outstanding Relationships. And on YouTube and Facebook, we're Outstanding Personal Relationships. I am going to leave you all with a little GLC. Make sure you guys are growing intentionally, loving fearlessly, and connecting on a higher level every single day. Coach Fatimah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.